Welcome students. In this video we will discuss about the second type of heat flow, that is convection. In the previous video we have already discussed the first process of transfer of heat, that is conduction. Here we will discuss about convection. So what is convection? This kind of transfer of heat requires the displacement of the material or the particles of the material. Now, whenever we apply some kind of additional heat to a material, we apply heat to a certain portion of the material. So the particles present in that portion of the material gets heated. So they possess a higher amount of energy due to the heat energy absorbed from the surrounding. Now, in case of convection, the transfer of heat occurs by the transfer of the heated particles or the transfer of the particles of higher energy towards the region of lower energy. So what basically happens is that the particles which are heated, which absorb heat, they move towards the region where particles were cold, and the particles at the colder region move towards the region where we are applying the heat. So they, after coming towards the hotter region, they absorb heat, and in this cyclic process the whole material gets heated. So this is what happens in convection. The convection is a process of heat transfer where the transfer of heat occurs by the displacement of heated particles from the hotter region to the colder region. Let me explain briefly. In case of convection, what happens? Let us assume that this is a bowl full of water and we are applying heat via this burner. Now, since this portion of the water is directly in contact with the burner, this portion of the water is the hotter region and the portion above it is the colder region. Now, the particles present in this region directly absorbs the external heat and gets heated, and with the increase of heat, the water in this area expands. The density lowers and the volume increases due to increasing temperature of the water molecules in this region. So, since the volume of water increases with absorbing heat energy, the density lowers and it moves towards the upper region, and the water of the colder region, which have relatively lower volume and relatively higher density, they move towards the lower region, and in this way the particles move from the hotter region to colder region, and the particles of the colder region move from the colder region to the hotter region, and again they absorb the heat, and this process continues until the whole liquid is at a certain temperature, which is the temperature of the burner. So this is the process of convection, and this is the path followed by the particle in this process of heat transfer. So in this process, what happens? The displacement of particle is required. So this process cannot happen in case of solids, because in solids the particles are tightly bound, so they cannot undergo any kind of displacement. But in case of liquids and gases, this process is quite helpful, and via this process the liquids and gaseous substances get heated and the transfer of heat occurs. That's all about convection. Thank you. For testing your understanding of this lesson and more videos, log on to www.tubelessons.net.